I welcome you to another Tuesday teaching. My name is Josephine, and I anchor Languages, an academy of knowledge economy. Today, I'm continuing on African metaphysics, and I'll be teaching on dimensions in African metaphysics. What do Africans think about metaphysical issues? What do they feel, or their opinion, the African traditionalists, on metaphysics? That's the issue that I'm going to go into today. Let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are living in the universe. Let's praise God and thank Him for being with us since the January to September. Today is the Tuesday, the very first one in the month of September, and we are nearing December. And by the grace of God, we will see the end of this year safely and usher in the new year with good health, with good prospects, with good news, with joy in our homes and joy in our hearts. Before I continue, let's join Languages. I welcome you once again to my channel Languages, and if you are joining me newly, my name is Josephine. My name is Josephine, and this is Languages, an academy of knowledge economy. Like I said earlier, I'm teaching today on African metaphysics, which I call metaphysical issues, part 2 of it, talking about the dimensions on African metaphysics. The dimensions. And you know I love it to show my PowerPoint presentation, because I just don't want you to hear me or listen to me. I want you to also see what I'm presenting, what I'm teaching, like bullet points, so that you can take a pen, you can take a paper, and jot down notes if you want to. So I'm going to share with you my PowerPoint presentation for now. Dimensions in African metaphysics. Being, if you have been following me, you will know I spoke a lot in one of the teachings on Tuesday about being. What is being? The supreme being, the creator being. But in African ontology, being is that which is, however, considered in terms of concreteness rather than of substantiveness. Being in African metaphysics can be subsumed into the following categories: spirit, some call it Mo, as a force has categories of forces, and it includes God, the divinities, and other spirits. God is the apex of the Mo category as the source of all forces. In 1959, Temples wrote, "Above all force is God. It is He who has force, power in Himself. He gives existence, power of survival, and increase to other forces. Concerning other forces, God is He who increases force." He wrote, God knows all forces, their orderings, their dependence, their potential, and their mutual interactions. His existential cause is within himself and sustains resultant forces. The subsistence and destruction of other forces are within his power alone. While other creatures can paralyze, diminish, or stop the operation of another being's vital force, they cannot, and I repeat that, they cannot stop it from existing entirely. Only God can, because He is the creator. So after the supreme being are the divinities. They are intermediaries, according to Africans, and share aspects of the divine status. Awolalu and Dokwamu in 1978 referred to them as the executive heads of various divine departments in the Supreme Being's monarchical government. There are also myriads of spirits, benevolent and evil spirits, that occupy the African universe. After that, two groups of spirits emerge: the benevolent spirits, known as the ancestors, and they are greater force than human beings. The human person is a vital force endowed with intelligence and will, although God is the source of the vital force. According to temples, man is the sovereign vital force, ruling the land and all that abides in it. Even the Christian Bible tells us in Genesis, after the creation of man, that God also gives the macro and micro economy of the whole world to the man, because all other creatures have been made and man was put in charge. However, fullness of being consists of the participation to a greater or lesser extent in the force of God, who possesses the supreme force. He also shares an ontological relationship with his patrimony, relations, and land. He has a will to choose between good and evil, whether life-giving or life-destroying. Man is the center of the universe, including the world of the dead. Tempest wrote that man is the supreme force, the most powerful among creature beings. He can renew his vital force by tapping the strength of other creatures. God has endowed each being with a certain force capable of strengthening the vital energy of the strongest being of all creation, which is man. Animal, tame and wild, this category comprises forces not endowed with reason. Instincts rule them, and they are all under the force of man and exist for man. According to temples, in fact, even inferior beings such as inanimate and minerals are forces which, because of their nature, have been put at the disposal of men, of living human forces, or of men's vital forces. In another text he wrote, these lower beings exist by divine decree, only for the assistance of the higher being. They feed human beings and offer sacrifices to God, divinities, and their ancestors. African traditionalists, to them, the spirit world can be divided into two broad categories aside: non-human spirits and human spirits, the spirits of the dead. The non-human spirits are regarded in hierarchical order by their kind and importance, depending on the power and the role they play in the ontological order in nature. First in the hierarchy is the creator, which is the being, then the deities, the object embodied spirits, ancestors, spirits, and other miscellaneous spirits. Spirits that are non-human, comprising good, harmless, and evil spirits. So to an ATR, that is an African traditional religion man is between this area of spiritual host and nature. Africans believe in mystical powers and human quest to control or influence them, produce a variety of specialties such as medicine men, mediums, diviners, sorcerers, magicians, and witches. The superstitions, taboos, rituals, A study of the beliefs and practices of African people leads to the theological observation that African traditional religion is a religion of salvation and wholeness. Things, when we talk about things, here in 1985 are vast like the Igbo. The Igbo are another major tribe in Nigeria, which is in Africa, where we have the Yorubas or we have the Hausa Fulanis. The Igbo word for Ife primarily means a thing, anything material or immaterial. It refers to a happening in an event or an occurrence. Ife can also be affixed to any adjective to mean specific things. For instance, if they say Ife Obuna, that means anything. Ife Ebube, they mean thing of wonder. Ife Ojo, a bad thing. Ife Oma, a good thing. Ife as a force cannot act for itself and thus act only become active when a greater force like God or divinity, spirits, and man acts on them. They have no will of their own and thus depend on the will of a greater force. When we talk of space here, it is in relation of the distance between any two bodies or points. You remember in one of my other videos, I spoke at length on space and time. I want you to know about space in the African terminology, especially some aspects or some areas of Africans. It cannot be in all areas, but some. For instance, when they say, where did you see Joe? Or where did you pick up Sandra? Where was the sacrifice offered? According to Ijoma in 2005, space in Igbo ethnology consists of three levels. They are the sky, the earth, and the underworld. Where the sky is where God, they call God Shuku or Shineke, and the angels reside. The earth where man, animals, natural resources, some devils, and some observable physical realities abide, and the underworld where ancestors and some bad spirits live. Equalor in 1990 corroborated Ijoma's perspective when he categorized the Igbo African universe into three spheres: Helu Igwe, or sky; Alamadu, of the world of the living; and the Alamu, of the land of the spirits. The idea of space is known through sight, touch, and supersensory insight. And I said I spent as much when I was talking about space under metaphysical issues. Also, time. Time in African metaphysics responds to questions such as, when did you see John? When did you pick up Josephine? When was the sacrifice offered? In Beatty 1917 defined the African concept of time as the composition of events which have occurred, those that are taking place now and those which are immediately to occur. Thus, the African concept of time is concrete and substantive. It is epochal, as it is wrapped around events and activities. Iroegboa affirms in 1995 that it is time the Africans perform or fail to perform, and that his future and destiny are based on the use of time. I'm going to stop here for now, and then next Tuesday I will continue on my core teaching. I want to wish you a very wonderful week. Please join me on Friday for another Friday tonic, and I can assure you it's going to be interesting and educative. Thank you.